Have you ever met someone who is flighty, flaky, scattered, or disorganized? What about someone who's unable to stay present or considered too out there? Have you ever felt that way about yourself? Characteristics of spaciness can be directly related to a lack of grounding. You can do a great deal of clearing and updating of your beliefs, evolving rapidly into a higher level of consciousness. However, if you do not ground to the planet, you will begin to metaphorically fall over or float away. The rule of nature is that you must be as big energetically at the physical level as you are at the spiritual level. Picture a tiny tree with small roots. Then imagine the tree growing hugely toward the sky without growing bigger roots. A gentle breeze could topple that tree. Another way you could look at it, picture a small glass. Then imagine trying to pour a whole gallon of water into that little glass. If the container is not big enough, the water is going to spill out all over the place. You have an energy container. It's called your human energy field. The higher up you go on the ever-expanding spiral of consciousness, the larger your energy container must be to contain your new higher vibration of energy at the physical level. After you are done working your process around old limiting thinking and updating to more empowering beliefs, it's important to spend a moment grounding your energies down into the earth to build and hold a larger container for your higher consciousness. When you ground yourself after your clearing, your energy body will automatically expand into the earth to accommodate your new vibration, allowing you to stay fully present and aware at the physical level of engagement. You can do this in any number of ways. If you are auditory, you could make a declaration to ground. For example, you could say, I am now grounding and anchoring my energies, strengthening and expanding my energy container to hold my new higher vibration of being. If you're a sensory person, you could simply sense or feel sending your energy down through a grounding rod that extends from your base chakra, located at your perineum between your legs at the base of your spine, and send it down deep into the center of the earth. You'll have a sense when it's deep enough. If you're a visual person, you could picture growing tree roots down deep and wide, connecting and strongly rooting to the earth as your branches expand toward the sky. If you're a kinesthetic person, you could put your bare feet into the grass or dirt or sand and feel your connectedness to the earth. And imagine growing roots, or you could hug a tree and send your energies down into the earth through the tree roots. Some people like to dance, stomp their feet, bang a drum to ground their energies after expanding. Some people do a yoga pose, such as down dog or forward fold. They connect with both feet and hands to the ground. Find a way that works for you, that feels authentic and natural and works for you. There's no right or wrong way to do this. Your intention to ground and anchor your energy to build and strengthen your energy container is more important than your method. I use a combination of methods depending on what situation I'm in. If I'm inside, I usually send a grounding rod deep down into the earth. If grass or sand is handy, I always kick off my shoes and anchor barefoot to nature. You're both physical and spiritual at the same time. In the process of self-realization, to become integrated at every level, you must place an equal amount of energy down into the physical level as you have placed out into the spiritual. The universal law of manifestation states, as within, so without. If you do not ground your energies, several things could occur. You may experience a state of dizziness, spaciness, forgetfulness, or otherwise feel disoriented. You might begin to feel hungry all the time and want to overeat. If you've ever seen an overweight spiritual teacher or psychic, they're likely using physical weight to anchor themselves rather than simply grounding and expanding energetically at the physical level. There's no need to put on extra weight to be grounded. Lastly, you may feel wonderful for a day or two and then experience a crash where you drop into feeling blue or depressed, losing the experience or the connection to your updated beliefs. This phenomena happens frequently over and over again for people who go on spiritual retreats or attend transformational workshops. They feel wonderfully high for a day or two, and then they suddenly feel terrible, like they have an energy hangover. If you've ever attended a mind-expanding event, be sure to do some grounding exercises afterward. Don't worry about losing the high. While you might come down slightly as you ground, this is much better than crashing and losing all of your high. The idea is to very gradually get to the point where you maintain the higher vibration of energy all the time, where the state of highness you're able to access becomes your normal, natural state of being. This is the goal, and it is a process that takes time for most people. Once in a while, someone may take a huge quantum leap during an instant enlightening experience. After a powerful, mind-blowing type of transformational experience, a person may become unhinged and unable to cope with real-world details. There are many people living on the streets right now who've had ungrounded or instantaneous expansions of consciousness. In fact, author Eckhart Tolle shared his story about spending 2 years on a park bench after his enlightening experience. I'm relatively certain that he spent much of those 2 years building his energy container and re-anchoring himself onto the planet after his extraordinary awakening. This is rare. It's not the norm. And yet, just in case it happens to you, it's helpful to know how to ground yourself. Setting clear intentions of grace and ease can go a long way to ensuring you have a smooth and graceful transition into the loving. Additionally, to ensure presence and connection at the physical level of reality, just remember to ground yourself each and every time you process using compassionate self-forgiveness. Say, I now remember to ground myself each time I work on raising my consciousness. Do this regularly, and you will grow energetically as you expand spiritually, staying in balance on every level of being. Action step. Make it a habit to ground your energy physically every time you do anything that expands your energy consciously. This is applying compassionate self-forgiveness, updating your beliefs, listening to an uplifting talk, attending a spiritual workshop, etc. Declaration. I am now anchoring myself regularly by grounding my energy after any consciousness-raising experience. My physical energy is as strong as my spiritual energy is high. Many blessings of joy and vibrant freedom.